Today we're doing roasted pumpkin puree part 2, in which we cut the pumpkin slightly differently from the other ways we've cut it to see what the results will be. Now we're going to try an alternative way of roasting the pumpkin. First time we cut it from the top. This time we're going to take it and cut it from the side. But before we begin, I'm going to rinse off the pumpkin, make sure the outside is clean, dry it off, and we'll start from there. So, now, when you're doing this, you're going to have to be real careful because it's going to have a tendency to roll. So when you make your initial cut, you may have to be a little cautious so that you don't slip. Be very careful because the knife has to be sharp and the pumpkin is very tough. So, also watch out for the tip of the knife because it could be easily, you could lose track of it and easily cut yourself. So, now, there we have the pumpkin. Now you'll notice it's slightly different than the other one because now the seeds are kind of oriented differently. So some of that's due to the fact that it's a different pumpkin, but when we cut it from the top, we kind of split the sides. This way we kind of can cut around the edges. So the first thing I want to do, now that it's cut, is remove the seeds. So I'm going to scoop them out with my hand first, as much as I can. They're going to fly everywhere, but that's okay. Get as many of them out as I can before I start with a spoon. If you squeeze and pull, you'll get a lot of the pumpkin seeds out, maybe enough that you won't have to do much beyond that. I'll do the same thing with this one. I'm going to squeeze and pull. Just try not to pull anything but the seeds out. Just kind of, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like milking a cow. If you've never milked a cow, I guess that doesn't really tell you anything. But you just got to kind of squeeze a little bit and get the seeds loose. Come out. They're still kind of embedded in that fibrous material that's around the inside of the pumpkin. But you can get most of the seeds out without doing more than just kind of pulling on it. Okay. We've gotten most of the seeds out, as you can see, a few here and there. The rest will be saved for another day, or actually never, because I'm not going to worry about it. So there's the first batch of seeds. There are a few kind of fallen everywhere. I'm going to pick those up, and we'll put the seeds to the side. But if you look, most of the seeds are gone. There may be a few under there. There may be a few that I can pick up here, but right now we've got just the fibrous material that we're not going to want to keep. So I'm going to put the seeds to the side, wash my hands, which I recommend you doing regularly when you're cooking. I think everybody knows that. One of my favorite scenes from The Sopranos was when Tony's mother pointed out that Emeril Lagasse wasn't washing his hands all the time, and the show Sopranos was so popular that it got back to him, and he made a comment on his show about some old lady in a TV show saying he wasn't washing his hands regularly enough. So it's interesting how those things happen. All right, so we're going to scrape out the bottom of this. There's the top of the pumpkin. So we're getting it really well. We're getting the fibrous material out. We don't have to worry about much more than that because when we roast it, we'll be able to get the rest of it out fairly easily once we get it out of there. Okay, we'll get a little bit more and then we're ready to look at roasting this one. Okay, the next step is prepare a pan. So, I'm going to put a little olive oil on here. Let me turn this light off so it's not quite so bad. I don't know. Anyway, then we're going to kind of spread the oil out. And there we have a pumpkin ready to roast. So I'm going to put it in a 350-degree oven for 45 minutes or so. And when a fork pierces the outside easily, we'll know it's done. All I'm going to do is use my spoon and go around and scrape it out of here. Trying to just get the flesh and not the remnants of the peel, or rind, or whatever you want to call it. It actually works pretty good because as it cooks, it seems to come away from the rind a little bit. And then you take that, get rid of it. We'll turn this one over, do the same thing. Now I'm going to make pumpkin puree. We'll do it in this food processor. So I'm going to put my pumpkin in here. I'll probably have to do this in several batches. Okay, I'm going to push this down a bit. I'm going to empty the puree from this container so I can do another batch. So here we go. Now, I'm going to put the rest of it in here and finish it up. It out. I'm going to cover this bowl and put it in the refrigerator and save it for my next recipe. The next recipe I'm going to make is probably going to be pumpkin spiced snickerdoodles. Okay, that completes roasted pumpkin puree part 2. I hope you got something useful out of it. If you did, please subscribe, and if you feel up to it, give us the video a like also. Thank you.